Leading voices from Sri Lanka's export sector convened in Colombo to raise serious concerns over the government's decision to repeal the simplified value-added tax scheme from next month.
Let's say you are plucking 100 rupees worth of green leaf from your garden and you're going to sell it to the exporter to export that tea. So if I have to buy that 100 rupees worth of tea from you, I can buy it. Now I can just export it. I just have to prove that, look, I have exported this tea, this is what I bought. So we are not going to pay any VAT on the purchase from the small garden owner. Now what's going to happen is the government is coming in and saying, oh, you're going to sell 100 rupees of tea to the exporter. Please pay 18 rupees to me. So the government will collect the 18 rupees which the exporter has to pay to you and you have to pay to the government. And the government is telling, I will give this back to you after 10 weeks, almost 2.5 months minimum. The 45 days really translates to 2.5 months. So they are just telling, I will give you this back to you. Even that is not a problem. Okay, what's going to happen is, all this time I was just giving you 100 rupees and exporting, and I was making 2 rupees or 3 rupees on that export. Now I have to take another 18 rupees from somewhere and give it to the government. Just wait for 2.5 months for them to give that back to me. The example in tea is that 93% of the tea that is produced in Sri Lanka is exported. And they are going to charge this 18%, that 18 rupees on every 100 rupees, going to take it, keep it with them for 2.5 months and telling that I will give it back to you. Now we all know if we give anything to the government, can we get it back? I'm only talking about the smallholder sector, which is 75% of the tea exports. We also have the corporate sector, which produces about 25%. But more importantly, this smallholder sector is going to get affected.
Johan Lawrence, Secretary General of the Joint Apparel Association Forum, acknowledged the inevitability of SVAT's removal but criticized the lack of readiness.
The status as of now is that the new act has been passed and the SVAT scheme will be repealed on the 1st of October. As responsible chambers, we accept that SVAT is due to be removed in what is now less than a week, but we are all extremely concerned that the systems are not in place to ensure a seamless digital refund scheme that would ensure refunds are made in the 45-day period. We have all been in continuous dialogue with policymakers on a range of issues around the transition from a cashless system to a cash-based system. We appreciate the willingness of the authorities to hear our concerns and would place on record our thanks for the numerous meetings we have had with various government authorities in this regard. We are particularly encouraged by the repeated assurances by the Inland Revenue Department that their systems are ready to make refunds, in fact, sooner than the 45-day window. Unfortunately, however, there has been no pilot or proof of concept done to demonstrate that this is in fact possible. The impact of cash flow on exporters remains one of our main concerns. We would point out that the 45-day refund is actually between 75 and 105 days, as the Inland Revenue Department clock only commences at the end of the month following the month in which your VAT return is made.
Sheha Marika, CEO of the National Chamber of Exporters, warned that the timing of the repeal could derail Sri Lanka's ambitious export targets.
Cost of doing business for the exporters have gone up. Labor cost, energy cost, those have doubled or tripled. So even the extra large companies will face a negative impact. Now, we are hearing that the government is focusing on exports. We need that foreign currency. And we as a chamber feel the timing here, that is to remove SVAT in October, will not be a way to move forward, especially with the target of almost 19 billion set for this year and a 30 billion for 2030. We need to encourage and motivate the exporters, and we feel that a policy decision like this to remove SVAT, which has been working perfectly all this time, will have a negative impact. So we as a chamber are requesting the authorities, the policymakers, to consider postponing this decision, making sure that the refund mechanism is 100% working perfectly without any glitches, because we can't afford the exporter to go back again to the authorities asking for their refunds.
Pushpika Janadira, chairman of the Sri Lanka Association of Manufacturers and Exporters of Rubber Products, emphasized the financial burden on exporters.
The worry here is the exporters are running with a thin margin and no cash available in the system to tide up this kind of a new method of blocking money, billions of money. Government may get money to the treasury, but at a cost of the exporters. There's a huge finance cost on this money. The question here, who is going to bear the cost? Exporters haven't got the facility to absorb that finance cost. And also, you might know the finance cost in Sri Lanka, not competitive at all. Our cost of funding is, maybe the big organization may pay 9%, 10%, but the SMEs are paying an enormously higher rate because of their lack of bargaining power and the lack of the capital.